Merry Christmas.
Thank you, you mysterious person. Merry Christmas to me indeed, again. So this is a new lens for my Sony Aps-C cameras. It's the newly released 70 to 350 millimeters. This in full frame equivalent is 105 to 525 millimeters. I've never had a telephoto lens with this reach, so I'm very excited to try it. So this is the lens. As you can see, it looks very nice. This is what it looks like on my A6500. Very nice. It got here just in time. Tomorrow I'm going on a hike with my uncle. We are climbing the highest peak in the province of Lugo, and I can't think of a better scenario to test out this telephoto lens. That's the plan for this video. I'm gonna go on that hike. I'm gonna take this lens with me, take photos, take videos, and then I'll be back here talking about those images, those videos, giving you my first impressions, talking about why I got this lens, and maybe even comparing it to the other telephoto lens that I have, the 55 to 210, a much smaller and cheaper lens. So as I said, let's go on that hike. I'm gonna be showing you now the footage that I'm gonna capture tomorrow on that hike, and we'll talk after that. See you soon. Alright, so we are back from that hike. Just a quick note to my future self, or to anyone who is like me. If you're gonna hike to high altitudes in winter, it doesn't matter if it hasn't rained in days, it doesn't matter if the mountain looks pretty much fine from far away, and it doesn't matter if the day is clear and sunny. It's very likely that you're gonna find ice on the trail, so be prepared and bring the proper equipment. This peak that we climbed was at around 2,000 meters or 6 to 7,000 feet, something like that. It wasn't a very hard hike. I mean, it wasn't easy by any means, but what made it much harder than it should have been was the conditions that we found. The trail was very icy, and it was even icier on the last stretch that was very steep as well. So the conditions were kind of sketchy, and it took us a long time because we weren't prepared. Because of those sketchy conditions, I didn't use this lens as much as I thought I was going to, and this is one of the first things that I wanted to mention about it in this first impressions video. This is a lens that is going to stay in your backpack most of the time. That's what I did during the hike. I could take it out only when we stopped to take breaks or when I saw something that was worth photographing, and if the conditions where I was stopped were safe. For what it is and for what it offers, for the reach that it has here, it's not a very heavy or very big lens, but it's big and heavy enough that I don't want to, have it hanging from my neck or from any other parts of my body. It is smaller and lighter than its full-frame counterparts. I used to own the 72-200 f4. I sold that lens to replace it with this one. You can tell that it's smaller and lighter, not by a lot, but still. One thing that I liked about the 72-200 though is that it came with a ring here or an adapter. I don't know the name of those, but it's to attach the lens to the tripod instead of the camera. Those are very common with long, heavy lenses, so the center of gravity is more towards the middle. If you attach the camera to the tripod, this combination is a little bit heavy on the front, so it tends to go down like this, and it's even worse when you have it all extended all the way like this. So I'm gonna look for one of those rings online. I might be able to find one that fits this lens. I should. I don't really understand why Sony didn't include one with this lens. The build quality is amazing, it's very nice, it's definitely the nicer lens I own. I don't own a lot of lenses and they are not that expensive. I am sure that lenses like the G Master lenses from Sony and some Sigma lenses are much nicer than this one, but this is more than enough. It's actually almost too nice because now I'm kind of afraid to take it out and to use it. I don't want to scratch it. When it comes to image quality, I still have to test this lens much more for a longer period of time. I need to bring it with me to different conditions, different environments, and see what's able to do, what I'm able to create with it to actually be able to tell how the image quality is. So far, so good. One thing I did is I shot it along with the 55-210. I took a few shots to compare both of those lenses. The 55-210 is not the best lens out there, but I was still able to create some of my best images with that lens. I'm gonna show you a couple at least now. So at least this one from the White Sands, this one of Mount Hood, and I might be forgetting one somewhere, but yeah, that lens is not the best lens by any means, and this one is better. You can tell from the comparison, the quick comparison that I did, that this lens is definitely better. It's not a huge difference in the center. They are pretty similar. In the corners though, there is no comparison, and the 70-350 is much better in every aspect. Even in the center, the sharpness is pretty similar, but the contrast and the colors are better with the 70-350. That's not a huge deal for me because I crop to square, so I'm just discarding all the corners and all the edges of the image anyway. But if I wanted to reframe one or to get a panorama out of one, the 70-350 is gonna offer better quality for that. I didn't buy this lens because of the better image quality though. I didn't buy it because it's bigger and heavier either, of course. I bought it because of the extra reach that it offers. It reaches 350 millimeters, and that is a 525 millimeter equivalent in full frame. So that is amazing, and it's something that I've never had before. So this is going to allow me to create images in theory that I wasn't able to create before. Some of my older images that I took with the 55-210, I had to severely crop them to get the actual frame that I was visualizing. Hopefully this lens, I'm not going to need to crop that much with this lens, and if I crop, I can reach even farther. I'm very excited to have a telephoto this long in my kit. Before this lens, there was really no option for the Sony APS-C system on the telephoto side of things other than the 55 to 210, but this lens only reached to 210 millimeters. There was nothing beyond the 300 millimeters that this lens offers. You had to go with the full frame lenses, which are more expensive, heavier, and bigger than the APS-C lenses. And if you are like me, I'm not planning on switching to full frame anytime soon. So this lens was perfect for me. I had been thinking about getting one since it was announced back in August, and I found a very good deal a few days ago, and that's when I pulled the trigger. So this lens retails for $1,000 in the US, but I guess this is due to the trade war or whatever, because it's much cheaper in the rest, in other countries like here in Spain. The regular price is 850 euros, including taxes, and the other day I found it for 700 on Amazon in Spain. So I pulled the trigger and I bought my copy, and I couldn't be happier with it. This is all I have to say about this lens for now. If you have any questions about this lens or about any other piece of equipment that I use, please leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer that question. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.